Well, let's have a look at Anglo Platinum just for a brief moment because we spend a little bit of time on Impala Platinum. And there's Anglo Plat. Same story, guys. Just a beautiful chart. Just have a look here. It is just flying, flying. And even if you go back, it can easily go to this high of 2008. And where were that? Around 1,400 Rand. And just to show you how cyclical commodity stocks are. Look at this beautiful rally. This is a weekly chart. And look at that rally in 2008. It went all the way up and then collapsed in one go. And then it took almost 10 years before it started to find its feet again. So Angloplat, a beautiful chart, just shows you momentum up. And for me, the first warning signal on a weekly chart will be 1,270 Rand. And it's now at 1,320 Rand. And it will probably see if it can test this previous high of around 1,400 Rand. Let's have a look at Steinhoff. Michael said, Frans, can you please look at this block? Steinhoff. He said he bought them. And he said he learned a terrible lesson because he believed that management is beautiful and the company is one of the best in the world and you cannot go wrong and everything is just fantastic. He says, well, Frans, now I'm sitting with my stocks. I don't want to sell anymore. He says, because I'm so sick and tired of the stock. And I think it's too late to sell. So it's quite simple, Michael. I think if you look at this chart, look at it, it fell off a cliff. I think a lot of people got hurt here. Well, can you believe it? I mean, this stock was at around 80 Rand. Well, all the way there in 2017. Now we're 2 years later, and it's at 85 cents. So it's not wrong. It's from 80 Rand, 85 cents. And this just makes confirms a point. And I just mentioned it when we discussed it with Impala Platinum. When you go long in a company, yes, you can think that the company can turn around. I always say when you go long, rather take your stop loss. Because the problem with a long is that the company can surprise you and there can be all terrible things coming out and the stock can fall off a cliff like this. But if you have the physical stock, now this guy Michael I think's got the physical stock. Michael, you did not sell it. So I will say, wait patiently, and there's the line. And I'm going to use this horizontal line. The other day, the stock looked interesting, and I thought, yeah, around 1 Rand 14 cents, it can give us the first sort of an option to maybe look at the stock. But if I look at this line, there's the resistance. I just want to put it down. There you are. The first proper resistance where you can say this stock can really start to go will be at 3 Rand and 74 cents, Michael. But there's some lines earlier on, and that will be at 2 Rand 46. So I think if you've got the stock and you did not take your loss then and you still believe in the company, I don't think it's time to add on to this company. In actual fact, it's consolidating. This consolidation can carry on for many years. But what we do need to say to each other, when you've got a company like that, that's consolidating for so long below a resistance line, the day when it breaks, it can give us a sharp reversal and a strong move to the upside. So be patient. I see on my stochastic, there's a low, there's a higher low, so there's a little bit of a positive divergence there. But that will not trigger a buy for me because I've said it on the show many a time. Remember, if you've got a company like Steinhoff, or like at the moment with EOH, or you've got a Tongaat, but they suspended now. The moment you've got a company and there is either corporate changes going on, or they start to buy a massive company or sell a massive company, it always reflects the charts. So then you do not get a true picture. So exactly with Steinhoff, I mean, they involved with so many cases, and acquisitions, this one is telling that, and we don't know what's happening. So the chart is actually not a true reflection of what is happening within the company, because what is a technical chart, or as we call it nowadays, the Afrikaans guys, Bushman tekeninge. This chart is just a reflection of the informed capital, what they think about it. So if there's a lot of corporate changes and you don't know what's happening, the chart will not be a true reflection. Gerrit asked us to look at Baldwin. Now, Baldwin was a while back a struggling company, and involved with property development. And look at this chart. I mean, this economy of us is really struggling. I'm picking up something here with Baldwin. I mean, it was a stock around 11 Rand when they listed many years ago, here around 2015, and it went all the way down to around 2.38. But look what we see here. We see this beautiful rounding bottom. I just want to take the stochastic out there because I don't want to confuse this chart. If you look at this, a beautiful rounding bottom, and let's put a 40-week moving average on here. I just want to put it on here, and because I think it changed that already into a support. I just want to go there quickly, if you guys don't mind. And Gerrit, by the way, you say you love the show. Thank you for watching. There you are, the Baldwin. There it changed into a support. And look what we see here, a beautiful buy kiss. Now, I like this chart because there's the low at around 234. The next low was around 260. Now it's pulling a little bit back. And Gerrit, I think if it pulls back to maybe this line, I'm going to use that support line there. If it maybe pulls back to this 40-week moving average around 3 Rand and 6 cents, this chart actually looks like a turnaround chart. It also tells me something, maybe, and we don't know that, is that there are some green shoots within the economy, and we don't pick it up yet. Because this chart comes from almost 2 Rand from nowhere, around 3 Rand 45, and that is a bit of a turnaround. So Gerrit, hold on to the stock if you've got it. Otherwise, if you're keen on buying it, wait for this 200-day moving average or 40-week moving average. It will probably test it again around this 3 Rand 10 level. And maybe you can add on, and let's just maybe give a stop loss then. If it breaks below that, stop loss will be 2 Rand and 65 cents. Well, Martin, you looked at EOH, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time, or while you asked us to look at EOH, I'm not going to spend a lot of time there because it's exactly the case, like I mentioned, the company is involved with all different corporate issues, and if you look at the stock, it's still below the 40-week moving average. It's a solid resistance there. It tested it, it came down, it plays around this level. So for me personally, same story here. Like a Steinhoff, I will just sit on my hands. I will not touch it. I will wait for properly higher lows. And sometimes you can look at volume as well to see if there's maybe a spike in volume. Let's just do that. And we can maybe see that something is developing, because usually right at the bottom or right at the top of a company, the moment things will start to change, we'll see a spike in volume. Now, there you are, there with a big spike. The spike was around April. A massive spike in volume, but look what there's volume, but it doesn't mean anything because it needs to break at least above this 40-week moving average. So Martin, for me, I think just sit on your hands and wait for EOH to show its true colors. Well, let's have a look at Richemont. Now, of course, we know Richemont is one of the favorites of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. It's also a beautiful rand hedge. Everybody loves this company. But there's something that I pick up from Richemont. Let's have a look here. What I don't like is the following. I'm just going to show you this. And I'm just going to take that out. 40-week moving average. First of all, there's a double top in Richemont. The high was there, 130 Rand. There's the top. There's another top. Yes, it fell off. It paid it out almost. It bounced up. Look what we see here. Double top, lower high, lower high. That makes me a little bit nervous. And the big support of this share lies at 88 Rand. But if I do this, you will see something else. And the moment you see that, you will see there is a head and shoulder developing. There's the left shoulder. There's the head. And we're working on the right shoulder now. And the neckline of this right shoulder sits at 106 Rand on the dot. If that turns into a resistance, what will we see? I just want to do that. I'm going to do another one. First of all, that is the projection from the head to the neckline. The other one is from the head of the right shoulder to the neckline. Now the neckline, the right shoulder gives us the conservative target, which is projected downwards. It will take it to 95.54 cents. And what will happen if we project it down, if it breaks below that neckline and the formation plays out to the full, it will take it all the way back to this line. There you are. You can take it all the way back to 81 Rand and 87 in time to come. So I don't like Richmond at all. I love the company. The only thing that worries me is this right shoulder, and only above 122 Rand and 11 cents, the stock will look interesting to me. Our stock that we're going to discuss for the year is Capitec. Leon wanted to know about Capitec. He says the chart is starting to worry him a little bit. He just feels a little bit nervous on the chart. Well, if you look at the chart, for me, it doesn't worry me a lot because it looks like, Leon, it's flirting around this previous high. That high was at around 1,431 Rand. The other day, it reached a high of close to 1,456 Rand. And I really hope this is not a double top, because this double top only comes into effect at this level. There you are. And that is quite away from here, 1090. For me, my first warning signal, because we're out of time, will be below 1,377 and above 1,456. It can easily go and see if you can test 1,500 Rand. Well, that's the end of Talking Technical for 2019. We look out for 2020, and we hope that everybody's got a blessed Christmas ahead of you, and drive safely and enjoy the start of 2020, and we'll talk next year again. All the best and enjoy the nice rest ahead of you.